Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new day and another edition here at Slimy Green Garage, and I've been waiting to do this video for a while. But what we have before us is a 1969 Buick Riviera. Actually super excited about this car. Not a car that I would have looked for as a teenager, but as a grown man, I think it's got the look. I think it's got the right stance. The body is solid. It's got flip-up headlights in the front. And just a little fun fact, or some fun facts for you, is in 1969, they only offered one engine in these cars. It's a 430 cubic inch. I believe it's around 365 factory horsepower. And I believe 475 foot-pounds of torque, somewhere right in there. So right out the gate, I'd say that's pretty special. But when I bought the car, I was told that the motor is locked up. We're gonna call it an engine because it runs on gas. So the engine's locked up. I did notice the key, the gentleman I bought it from, he disconnected the linkage from the transmission because while it has the keys and the door keys work, the ignition key, while I can turn it back to the accessory position, it will not go into the run or crank position. I can tell, and so can you, we've got a lot of our components for under the steering wheel sitting in the passenger side. So somebody's been in here. But in order for us to take the ignition out, we're going to have to remove the wheel. Hopefully that comes off easy, and while all the parts are rusted up, so we don't know how long it's been when somebody attempted to do that. Hopefully the wheel comes off fine. We can get the ignition out. And then, depending on what happens with our weather today, because it looks like we could actually get some rain, which we haven't had in a little while here. So that wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing, but it might halt our progress today. But if we can get the steering wheel off, get the ignition out, that would be a great first step. But I guess we'll go ahead and just give you a walk around. I think that you guys might be just as excited about this car as I am. Not something you see every day. They did make a GS optioned Riviera, and the only benefit in my mind is that would have come with a traction lock, rear end, 342 gear ratio, I believe, off the research I did. This is probably just a open rear unit. And with all that horsepower and torque, God, it'd sure be nice if it was posi, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. But anyway, I hope that you're all doing well. This is the Buick Riviera. We will do some more thorough looking through the car at some point here, but I think just to get the video started, let's get the ignition out. And if we can get that done, and depending on the weather today, it doesn't matter if it's not today, then we're gonna see, is the engine locked? I was told that it was. I was told that the cylinders have been soaked down with transmission fluid and it's just stuck. So that's where I'm at right now with what I've been told, but we're gonna keep an open mind as we start to work on this thing. And I'm excited to get started, so let's do it. I know you're bouncing around a little bit. I got you on the chest mount with a backup battery in here, but you gotta watch and see what we're doing in here. So I'm just gonna remove our turn signal lever. I soaked all this down with PB Blaster, and I should find ourselves a little container, put our parts and pieces in. So let's do that. Somewhere around here. Oh, look at that. I believe these are empty oatmeal containers, so that'll work great. We can keep all our stuff organized. All right. We also got the spring that needs to come out. And what do we got next? Looks like flat blade screwdriver. So come prepared or don't come at all. No need to count our steps with all the forgetfulness and not bringing the tools that we need every time. We get plenty of those in. That looks like a decent flat blade. Let's give it a try. What's the weather like where you're at? You having a good day? All right, so we got a screw right here. Will you come out for me? Yes. Yes, you will. That's good. You know what else we should have brought? This might be magnetic, this screwdriver. It is. And what, if we turn, we can also get to this one. All right, it's coming out. I guess what I don't understand is, you know, obviously somebody's been in here and they partially put it back together, and it's been, I think, a long while since it was done. Why didn't they put all the pieces back? And why were they in here to begin with? You know, if they got in here to make sure the ignition was good, why didn't they fix it? They just wanted to leave it for us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, climbing back into the car, You can see we got the steering column tore apart, and I was able to get the lock cylinder out of the car, and it worked just fine out of the car. And so digging a little deeper, I just want to show you this pin is what, when you put this in park or turn it off, it locks your steering wheel. And it goes through this hole in this housing right here. And so it was froze. And so after doing several heat cycles, heat soaks with the PB blaster, I was able to take a punch, hold on to this, and drive it back while I was applying outward pressure on this after the 3 screws were removed. So I'm just going to show you real quick. When I turn the tumbler on that ignition, you're going to see when I come back to park, and I got to have it in park. So let me try to press up on this with my foot. And if I go back, there we go. See how it comes out? Back in, out, in. So anyway, it's lubed up. It's ready to go back together. That's a win for us today. Somebody, obviously, they had this tore part. So we've got, hopefully, most of the parts to actually completely put this back together properly. We'll find out as we work on it, but I just want to give you an update where we're at, and I'm going to get back to work. Well, as you can see, the ignition now works. You can watch that pin. Key on, key off. Okay. What do we got here? Acorns. They just keep coming. Oh yeah. Big old mouse house. Man. Really packed it in there good. Alright, so I told you, we were told that the engine's locked up. The gentleman supposedly pulled out all the plugs and soaked them down. I can tell you that the spark plug wires are off. And I can tell you this. That doesn't look wet at all. Like anybody's sprayed anything in there. So it's got plenty of oil in it. So we're going to say that somebody at least did have the plugs out, and this one's also a 4-pronger. Is this one going to be tight? Nope. I should just stick my hand in there and test on all of them, huh? It's coming out. This is more like the original. So somebody just maybe had some spare plugs laying around. The front one, yep, there you go. None of these were tight at all. Which is fine, it makes my life a little easier. This one's, you know, you see it? Alright. We'll lubricate those cylinders down. Okay. Next. Yep. Number front here. Let's see. Can I see what's going on? Okay, and the final one here. Alright. Now I've got the battery out of the Mustang, which is actually a marine battery that may or may not fit down in there. It should. Alright. Interstate deep cycle. our positive. This is the negative, so, you know, positive longer. Wait. That's ground. What the heck is that? Go through some sort of grommet and go all the way through the... What in the mother's going on there? That's weird. I'm not going to think about it. Why is it? I don't understand. I'm going to have to crawl underneath this thing just to see what the heck's going on. Okay, so... Want to know the good news or the bad news? All right, the bad news is it's got a Fram oil filter on it. The good news is that positive battery cable, it's got some sort of protective shield, a plastic piece that runs along the front of this engine. Never seen anything like it, but we know what cable's which, and now I'm going to drop this down here. That ain't going to work. This battery is too big. But we can get a set of jumper cables. And by the way, all we're attempting to do here is to see, well, number one, if we create any, what do they call it, magic smoke. I just want to see if by hooking the battery up now that we have a ignition switch, if we have anything going on inside the car at all. And we can just tap it. See what happens. Hey, we got one headlight came on. I'm going to spray that switch while I'm in there. Obviously, all we're getting is a click, but that means that the starter is trying to do something, but we don't know if this battery's got any. Didn't act like it was trying real hard. I don't know, what do you think? Should we drag the battery charger out here and power it up on 200 amp and see what happens? We could do that. All right. Kind of handy. We got room for all our stuff, extra terminals. Now we just got to drag our 10 mile. And it just keeps going. I learned a while back though that you don't leave these on the reel and plug something in, because if it's got any sort of draw at all, that extension cord wound up. It'll get hot, melt your cord. Learn from me. Don't do dumb things. All right, we're going to just try it on 40 amp first. Take two. Mind you, we haven't cleaned any grounds. Let's just go straight to 200. See what that does. Our under dash light came on. Blinkers don't work. We got one headlight working. We didn't try the power antenna, and most of the switches are froze up on the inside of the car, so they're going to be need to be handled delicately. And getting anything on that crank is not going to be easy, doesn't look like, without pulling the fan off, which ain't, I guess, that big of a deal if we need to. The fan and the shroud would be nice if they were out of the way. I mean, it doesn't really sound to me like the starter's trying all that hard. And we don't know, did the gentleman that we got this from, did he try to put something on the crank, or did he just try to hotwire it because the ignition didn't work? All right, just so I can say I tried, I'm going to crawl under here. I got good news. I was able to get the socket on there. Bad news is I don't got nothing on that bolt with that wrench, and I don't know why I brought out a crowbar. I thought this was my breaker bar. That was good. Well, we got to do what we knew we were going to have to do anyway. We're going to have to pull that fan off, and maybe we just go ahead and pull this plate off. We can get this plastic shroud out of there. I imagine it's held down by that. So that's all easy stuff to do. So why wouldn't we? I'm going to set all these plugs right up here on top of the car in the order that they came out. Boy, wouldn't that have been cool if it just turned easy. Yep, would have been awesome. Not everything can just magically happen. All right, so let's do our homework. I guess we'll spray down those bolts. And we're just gonna hope that they come out okay. What are they, by the way? Oh, those aren't the ones I want to take. I sprayed the wrong ones. I'm supposed to spray at the hub. Act like this is the first car I've ever worked on. Maybe this part will at least go smooth for us. What do you think our odds are? Well, that's the way we want to start it out. They are ½ inch, but I can't use the ratcheting side. It's too big. Oh, that one though. Oh, they all come out like that. Where's golden? Uh-oh, dropped the first one already. It's a nut. It's not a bolt. All right, go for number 2. Number 3. One more, folks. Well, we are back on the 69 Buick Riviera, and so just a little progress update for where we're at. You may notice this large pipe sticking out of here. Well, that's because I got it on our breaker bar on the crank bolt. And the engine is stuck, just like we were told. We had all the plugs pulled, which you're already well aware of, but what we did yesterday at the end of the day is we filled all the cylinders full of automatic transmission fluid, and today we filled the remainder that wasn't filled up with evapo rust from the store. And so the cylinders, when we looked at those with our scope, aside from just one of the cylinders on the passenger side there, didn't look like they had any real reason to be stuck. And so I'm just wondering, are we stuck somewhere else? Do we have a, do we have a main bearing that's seized? What's our valve train up top look like? I did pull the oil fill cap, and it's not real pretty inside underneath the valve covers. But what I decided to do, because diesel's not overly expensive, is I'm going to go ahead and pull this valve cover oil fill cap off, and we are going to fill the crankcase with diesel. And hopefully, I don't know how much this thing would hold before we'd actually have enough diesel in there to be running up against our crankshaft bearings. But if we can get it up to the level of those bearings, maybe it can creep in there and lubricate those, and we can get this thing freed up. So I got 10 gallons of diesel. We're going to start off with 5, and we'll see where that gets us. So I guess all we got to do is get to work. Cap is off. And I beat a lot of rusty stuff off this already, so it looked a lot worse than this. But yeah, not real pretty underneath the valve cover. So we're gonna have to end up pulling those anyway, but the goal is, can we just get the engine broke free so it's not seized anymore? Let's find out. Get in there. That's just perfect. That way it holds itself. So before I spill half of this all over the ground, I just want to ask you guys, anybody else done this? I think some other people have. What were your success results? And how much did you have to add? Again, this is a 430 cubic inch Buick. 365 horsepower with 475 foot-pounds of torque. Out of the gate. Let's find out. Ah, it's heavy. Can you hit the funnel? Let's be careful. There we go. Well, we've successfully added basically 5 gallons of diesel. Oh, here's the deal. It's leaking out our dipstick tube area. There we go. Now we're catching what's running out. If our dipstick would hold a little tighter, that'd be great. But you know what that means is we know that we are full up to that point where the dipstick is on the block. Is that high enough to get to the crank bearing? Do we need to find a way to plug the oil dipstick so that we can get it any higher? I mean, I don't know. But it is leaking out of there currently. And if we have to, we can plug that. But I think what we're going to do now, put our cap back on. I get to take a break and just wait. Because it won't be instantaneous if it does work. I'm hoping it works. It'd be a super cheap fix if it did. So I guess, where'd you put the cap? There it is. All right. Woo! And just so you know, it is another beautiful day here in Missouri, and we're having a great time playing out in the shop. That, well, not a whole lot of labor involved in that, so glad you guys and gals could all come to help out with the situation. But golly, I looked at the brake pedal and the accelerator pedal on this car, along with the odometer, and as solid as the car is, even with the crusty interior, let me just show you real quick, or tell you I should say. 78,570 miles, and based on the condition and the wear on the brake and the accelerator pedal, I totally believe this is a 78,570 mile vehicle. Again, the interior is dried and cracked up and garbage, but that's because it sat out in Arizona. It's probably another reason why the whole thing's just kind of, because it got parked at some point, for some reason, at some time, probably because maybe it had an issue. Maybe whoever owned it passed away at one point in time. We don't know the story, the full story on this car, but I'm hopeful that we're gonna get this car running. We're gonna get it back out on the road, and most likely, after we do a few other things to this car, I'm gonna have to kick it down the road because I'm out of cash. No more operating capital for the shop. I mean, so you can see we got a lot of cool stuff around here, but when it comes to shop supplies and whatever vehicle that we're working on, you know, you gotta be able to buy parts for it. On top of that, the graphics card in my computer, well, it's crapping out too. And so I'm gonna have to get me a new computer, or at least a graphics card, and you know, I'll probably end up going secondhand, and I might be able to buy an entire new gaming / editing computer, basically for the price that a good graphics card would cost for my current computer. So I don't know what route we're going, but basically when I'm trying to render my videos now in DaVinci Resolve, I can edit the whole video, but when it comes to rendering, it locks up halfway through a lot of times and freezes, and then you gotta just start all over again as far as the render goes. That's been a real pain in my butt lately. So that's gonna cost us $1,000 to $1,500 to fix that problem, I think. And we don't have it. So like and subscribe and comment and hit the notification bell and do everything you can if you like what we got going on here at the channel to help me out, because I need your help at this point. If somebody out there has a great graphics card and you want to donate that to the channel, let's do that. Then that would make my life like just way better instantly. So anyway, we're gonna let that soak in the engine. I should roll the window down, let some of the smell out. It's gonna take a couple of years to get that out of there. But if we go back in the engine bay, it's no longer leaking out the dipstick hole. Yes, it is. It's still got a stream coming out of there. So we obviously overfilled it with diesel. We didn't drop any of the oil out that was in the engine, because why would we? We'll drain it all out at once and it'll just be great fire start. Soak a couple of rags in there, and you want to start a fire, you got one going. But yeah, I guess it's break time. I'm gonna quit talking. We'll take a break. We'll come back when we're ready to try and wrench on this thing again. Okay. Okay, well, I decided to skip the break, at least temporarily. I was just thinking, maybe, what if a fella was to just go ahead and pull the distributor? Would it be possible to rig up something to, if this is like a Chevy, I assume it is, if we can turn our oil pump shaft down in there, well, maybe we can get some oil circulating, some diesel, because we got a lot of that in there too. So yeah, I'm just thinking, let's just go ahead and try and pull this distributor out of here and see what we can do. So it looks like it's a 1/2 inch bolt that holds that in. I probably got one inside the car from the work we were doing yesterday. Maybe, maybe not, but I know where they're at. And so we got a 1/2 and we got a 9/16, just in case you guys thought I was wrong. And we'll see if we can't get on there. Oh, I wish I could get comfortable in here. Is that not gonna? Come on now, tell me I'm right. I'm not right, but I was right for bringing the 9/16. You can only see my back legs now. It looks like I am Superman in this situation. Press that down on there good. And, oh, that wasn't bad at all. Yeah, I think the bolt's gonna come out right out for us. Can I turn it yet? Not that it helped me, but yes. Thousand little clicks later. Let's see. Oh, well, look, the wire was broke coming off the coil, so we don't have to worry about unhooking that. And it looks like on the intake, our firing order is 1436572. Not your 18436572 that like a Chevy. Right? Is that right? Am I thinking correctly? Okay, now I gotta get this. It did pull up. That's good. See if we can get that bolt out of there now. Nope. Still not finger loose. I bet it's getting close. Try again. Really? I'll work really hard at it. That's an interesting looking hold down. We got it. Will the distributor come out of there for us? Yes, it will. Oh, that's short. Look at that thing. It's a shorty. Some of us are familiar with that. I can see the drive pin for the oil pump. Man, I wish I had a tool to make this easy on me. Just for fun, I'll take my screwdriver down in there. It turns free, that's good. Which means that if we rig something up in a drill, you know, once it builds pressure, it might get a little difficult. I'll be right back. 5 hours later. Okay, I'm gonna try to get comfortable in here with all of you. Get that down in there. Wonder. Is it supposed to turn clockwise? I don't know. And we came off. I need to get more comfortable. Oh my gosh. Now it's starting to build pressure. That's good. That means it was actually starting to pump or try to pump oil. Now I'm going to look in this valve cover, see if I can see any signs of fluid. I mean, I do see some fluid, but that could have just been from what we did earlier, dumping the diesel down in there. We'll spin some more on that if we can. It's definitely developed resistance, so I mean, that's a good thing. That means the pump is actually pumping. Well, I'd like to be able to spin it a lot faster. We'll just keep the steady pace going. Maybe it's moving some oil somewhere. Obviously our flat bit we got on here is not really sized properly for our oil pickup pin there, but over there we go. Try to stay centered on there as much as possible. All right. Whew, that's really comfortable laying on there. I don't know that I see any more action here. I can tell you already the rocker arm shaft, this obviously has a rocker arm shaft with the springs on it in here, and it's crudded up pretty bad on this driver's side. I think because this side is just easy to get to, there's no reason for us to not pull this valve cover off, and then we'll be able to actually watch and see if we've got any oil coming up there. So it just looks like that's going to need to be a deep well, but what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 3/8. We'll get a deep well, 3/8. And because you're all impatient like me, we're going to do it the quick and easy way. There's 1 of 5. Let's go for 2 of 5. Can we do it? Yes. Yes, we can. 3 of 5. Careful. 4 of 5, and the final 5th hold down for the driver's side valve cover is out. Move this right over here. And yeah, I guess I'm not worried about saving the valve cover gasket because it's probably garbage. Move that over there, this over here. I'll go ahead and put the cap back on here. Move these out of the way because we may have to disconnect this tube. That was easy enough. Use the roof of the car because it's convenient. And, oh no. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That is nasty. Look at that valve train. That's no wonder. Did I just waste all my money on diesel that I could have put in a track loader, which would have at least powered this up onto a trailer so we could take it to the scrapyard? Oh my gosh. That's bad. That is really, really not good. So that doesn't mean we can't make it work. It's kind of discouraging. Are you discouraged? Did you even get up close to look? Look at that. I mean, how does that happen? That's bad. That is not good. That's not what you want to see. When you pull your valve cover, how did the cylinders look so good? Well, oh, crumbling in my hands. Did you see that? Oh my goodness. I guess I'm gonna get the vacuum out here and we'll suck out the crap that we can, you know, because it kind of just seems like the next thing to do. That's bad. I don't even know what to say beyond that. But standing here talking about it, well, probably not gonna help my situation out anymore. And to make the matters worse, you know, obviously on the passenger side, with the AC compressor and all those components there, that side's going to be really fun to get into. Maybe the other side won't be so bad. You ever think about that? You don't have to be like pessimist all the time. Okay, get the vacuum. You convinced me. And similar to yesterday's excursion, we're going to have to drag out the 100-foot roll of extension cord because I obviously have not located a source closer than that. Like, that would just make sense if I did. All right, let's do this. All right. That's after our first vacuum. Let's go ahead and spray some PB Blaster over that whole area. Thankfully, at least the springs that run along the rocker shaft, I mean, they're not completely froze up. I mean, it's just nasty. Nasty stuff in there. But I'm sure that's just gonna make it run better, right? All that extra friction creating material, once the engine's running, will scrub the walls, the inside of the engine, and it will be like Brand new. Okay. So, talking about shop supplies. All this stuff costs money. And there again, I'm super thankful that I get to do what I do. But what happens when I run out of PB blaster? Brake cleaner. I mean, those are things to think about. You know, what we're probably going to end up having to do is pull the rocker shafts off so we can thoroughly clean those, make sure our valves actually open and shut. But if we blow out these holes here, ooh yeah. Oh, easy, don't get it on me, too late. I'm curious if we run our new oil pump, if we can see any oil coming out on this rocker shaft. Let's find out. Yeah. Oh, this is just so uncomfortable, but I'm doing this for you guys. Nothing yet. No evidence yet. But those push rods, and they're probably completely full. Or you know what though, on this engine, I don't know if it's the push rods that actually, it might oil through the rocker shaft. I've only watched a couple videos on this particular 430 engine, Buick made. I mean, but at this point, I don't see like anything coming out of there that makes me confident that oil is getting up to here. I think what we need to do is we need to let our PB blaster sit in there for just a little bit, and then this is going to be it's going to be horrible. But we'll bring the air compressor over here and we will blow the, you know what, out of this area with the air hose, and hopefully not wear all of it. And then we will retest. Maybe blow some air actually through these rocker tips. But I don't know that this engine oils through the push rods. Something tells me that it doesn't, based off one of the videos that I watched, but don't hold me to it. Could be wrong on that. Don't stand near the camera. So we talked in the last video about wearing your proper PPE. I need to have my face shield on right now because this thing is, it's cake. And there's a lot that's gonna come flying out of here if I get it all aggressive, so. Okay, now that we're properly prepared to make a total disaster, all right, what's it look like? I can't see through my map. That still looks like crap. But a few areas look better. All right, keep going. All right. That's great. This is the fun you get to have when you're working on old rusty gold. And look at all the debris we got on our inner fender, on me and everything else. So our pristine engine bay is no longer pristine, but I'd still call it progress. So now we can squirt this down again with some more PB blasters. The rocker arms actually don't look horrible now. Oh, see, we're already having issues with our can of PB blasters, so somebody wants to start that GoFundMe page. Let's do it. Drill time. This air hose leaks. Can't lay down. It's gotta be just right. Still making noise. Still leaking. Yeah. And we slipped off again. Let there be signs of fluid coming out there somewhere. Oh, too much power. Just gotta take it easy. I'll sit here all day if I have to. I'm patient. I don't know what kind of RPMs we gotta have to actually get oil flow, but I mean, you have to have a passage that will flow anything anyway, and as nasty as this thing is, everything might be just too plugged up to do anything for us. It's a great idea in theory. I would just love to see oil coming through one of these. Oh, I'm going to blow out the holes on the top of these rockers just so that if we see them fill up, then we know maybe we got something going on. I don't see any signs, you know, am I surprised at this point? Any signs that we got any oil getting up to the top here. It is building pressure at the oil pump. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. Does the oil come through the head into the rocker shaft assembly? I'm gonna have to do a little research. And you guys just go ahead and comment down there that are, you know, familiar with these Buick 430 engines, and I think probably the 455. I know there were some changes. But tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think they oil through the push rods in a 69 430. I'm not seeing any oil getting up here. And obviously I'm not spinning it super duper fast. So maybe I'm wrong and maybe we are getting some lubrication. Guess we can pull on this a little bit. Still no movement there. Well, kids, you can see the day is starting to escape away from us. Maybe you can't, but the sun is far off in the sky. We still got some light. But what we decided to do is take this break. We're going to pull the rocker shaft off this side. I got two of the front bolts out already. Got two more to go. Take a sip of this, and we're going to start bagging all the parts that we've taken off today, just so we can throw them inside the car. They won't get lost, misplaced, all that good stuff. So cheers to you guys. All right, we'll put these in here. First two rocker shaft bolts. Yeah, that one's doing good. This one, oh, that's pretty gummy back there yet. That one came right out though. That one's out. Okay, and the bolts came out good on those. Throw them in our Ziploc baggie. Just bring the baggie up here. You can see in 2 seconds, got lots of crud. This whole assembly, look at that. Look how nice that came out. And I can see where the oil does come up. Oh, it looks like maybe. And we've got our rocker shaft and, oh man, you see that? Hit! I can't move one. Not even one of these rocker arms will spin on this shaft. That might be the whole issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. Okay, now for fun. Now for fun, we're gonna take our drill back in here and see if we got any oil that will come out of these cavities. With those rocker arms as seized as they were, and we'll pull all the push rods out. In fact, I'll just do it right now, and I'm just gonna throw them, because I assume they're all the same size. Intake, exhaust, the same. They do look like, I don't know, can we clean out the end of one of those? I mean, there's little dimples in the ends of these, but I don't think that the oil goes through them. So I'm just gonna pull them out, and we're gonna throw them in our Ziploc. Boy, some of those are just stuck down there. Oh my goodness, this one's really great. Get out. Not bent, but it's corroded. We can clean those up. Right now, we want to see if we can make oil come out. Pay attention to those two areas right there as I try to get myself in a spot. Turn our oil pump again. Oh, come on now. Don't be bad to me. I'm just trying to help you. Okay, so we haven't built up pressure again yet. Oh, look at that. Did you see it? Oh my gosh, you guys. Ugh. Pay attention right here. Woo! Let's spin her good. Boom, we're making a mess. Okay, oil pump is good. Rocker shafts, the rocker arms, I would say, frozen solid. We need to pull off the passenger side. Before we do that, I'm just gonna get our soft blow hammer over here and just tap on these valves and see. Okay, so you guys watched a lot of videos, right? When we play a tune, some of these I can, that's good. Good. Not good. Not good. Not good, but okay. Nope. Nope. That's good. That one freed up. I can see we're gonna have to buy another softball hammer if we keep this up. That's what we want to hear. Yes. No. No. Yes. No. No. Okay, so we got a lot of stuck stuff in there. But that's progress. That's progress. We dropped our PB blaster can down in here. And realistically, if we just soak these areas, and even beyond that, if we just brought out our little torch, let's heat those up a little bit. Okay, we know the first two are good. We know the second two aren't. Oh, look at that one. That one just popped back up. Hey, that one's good now. You still ain't happy. Perfect. Don't worry about our valve seals. I think we got bigger issues to fry. All right, let's do this one. We're just gonna let sit for a bit. All right, we're gonna go to the back ones. Easy. Oh, those back ones aren't happy. Is it this one? That one's not happy yet either. Why can't we all just be happy? All right, well, we're just gonna have to, and we're gonna be patient with some of those. We're gonna spritz them down again, cool them down. What we do know is that the oil pump is pumping up to the rocker shaft, and so once the rocker shaft is clean and freed up on this side, it should pump oil liberally to all the areas that it needs to go. We're happy about that. Jasmine wants to eat this mouse nest that we blew out of the thing the other day, so over here and try to burn this up so she doesn't eat it. Jasmine, get out of there. Hey, baby, come on. How do you get sick? Okay, well, we know there's only 5. Can I just take this whole thing out of here? I mean, all the plug wires are off, and they're somehow, yeah, they're tucked down in there. Don't worry about it. Can a valve cover be taken out without removing all sorts of other garbage? That's supposed to go there. I'm telling you, this thing is untouched, which is, it's unbelievable almost. How often do you find an old classic car that's still all there? I mean, this is great. We're making progress. So 3 bolts on the top, and there's this, wow, this is a wiring loom. You know what? We cannot take this passenger valve cover off without at least moving this upper bracket for the AC compressor. Is there a lower? Yeah, there is a lower bracket. So we should be able to remove this upper bracket. What we got? That also supports the, wow, it supports the alternator, AC compressor. 2 bolts on the front. Mosquitoes are awesome. 2 bolts on the back. Everything looks to be, let's say, 1/2 inch, which we're kind of already equipped for. Okay, that one's off. We're going to need our Ziploc baggie again. The intake good. Long one. But we got it. Now this bracket right out. That goes on top of the hood with all the other stuff. Now, Mark should have access. Be able to get this valve guy every day. And just so you know, we're using the same Ziploc bag for both sides. Basically everything that we've done today, you could label however you wanted to help you remember. Like, you could stick a note in it that said, the day I pulled all this stuff off. All the nuts and bolts and everything, at least go back that day and all the stuff that you pulled off. Number 1. I'd like to get that off. If we get this valve cover off, you know, the lifters, they could actually be rusted in place too. Part of the reason why our engine's locked. If we can get all this stuff out and get the rocker shaft off this side, maybe. No, you're just not. And these hoses kind of. All right, so we've got 1 of 5. We're gonna throw it in the bag along with all our air compressors. Okay. I guess we'll try to hit the top ones and we'll leave that obstinate one for last. You come on. Do I have at least 1 number right? Yeah. Number 2 is out. And number 3. Number 4. Do we have at least 4 numbers right? If I don't feel alone, it's like it's all going to be okay, because that's number 5. We got all 5 numbers right. Now our valve cover, well, aside from having to negotiate it out from underneath all this stuff. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Get out. Oh, man, it's not as bad as out there. Is there some special code? Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Worked for Contra. Thank goodness. Hey, guess what? We were right. This side's not nearly as bad. So probably because it was the oil fill cap on the other side, it collected more moisture. Oh, it looks so much better. We're still pulling the rocker shaft, but you know, before we do that, if you look in here, and if I let you sit still long enough to focus in, this whole rocker shaft assembly over here, I mean, there's a lot of crud in here, but that was just debris that fell off the valve cover. I'm going to guess that on this side, you know, the valves could be stuck, and we're going to go ahead and pull the rocker shaft and clean it, and test on the valves as we can there. My hope is we don't have to pull the intake, exhaust bolts for the manifolds and the heads, but we might have to so we can wrap on the pistons. After we get the other rocker shaft off, continue to let this engine soak in what we've soaked it with. Maybe we can get it broke loose. I mean, when an engine is this bad, probably the best course of action is just to rip it out of the car anyway and to tear it down and go through it. You know, check your main bearings and all that stuff. But we want to see if we can get it running. So, I told you, we're out of funds. So every time we pull something else off, that means more parts that we have to order to get it back to the state that it was when we started. Hopefully be in a better spot if we do that. But anyway, let's fast forward till tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you then. Pow! Well, everybody, it's the next day. See how fast that was? It was cool out this morning. It rained for just a little bit. Come on out. And we're back. So, last night, after you guys went to bed on the video, I went ahead and pulled the rocker shaft off. Had enough daylight to get that done. And after doing a little looking around, had some pictures of this block once the intake is removed. Most likely we're going to have to pull that intake out, because as bad as some of those push rods were as far as corrosion, the lifters themselves could also be really stuck in the block. But we're going to go ahead and put the wrench on it this morning, just see if anything happened, and if it didn't, we're just going to take off everything that we need to get this intake pulled off here. So clean up your face. Had something on there. Yeah, okay. You know, we are in the month of October now, so summer is over. It's always a little sad for me. I mean, not that I don't get enjoyment out of fall, but fall means winter's coming. And we still don't have heat in our shop. So that's not good. All right, will it do anything? No. And I think I'm at the point where I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to break off our bolt into our crank, do anything crazy like that. we could let this thing soak for days. We could fill it up with more diesel if we plugged up our dipstick hole. But I got a feeling if we pull this intake off, actually we'll pull the radiator out, pull the intake off, and I think we're going to find some areas that need attention for us to progress on this thing. So I'm going to get the keys out. So all these parts that we've been pulling off the car, we're going to start putting them in the trunk if there's room. So I guess we could walk around to the back and you guys can see, because I don't know that I think I did open the trunk once. I don't remember if there's anything in there. Oh, sweet. There's some stuff in here. We'll just play Jenga because we're going to have some parts that we want to keep out of the weather. I still can't believe how much crud is in this valve cover. Okay, golden. Every time I'm working on this car, I get all snotted up. How heavy is it gonna be? And what are we gonna see once we get it out of there? I'm gonna just hop in here and sit the intake over here. There are benefits to being a small person. Yeah. It's got a little weight to it. Yeah. There. Stay. Interesting. Okay, and then we got a lower valley tray. There's our back gasket. Total garbage. So, I mean, it's a good thing that we had to do this anyway. You know what? If this isn't even just a valley tray, I think one of the videos I watched, it is a valley tray, but it's also the intake gasket on these cars. Oh yeah. Let me get out, move this intake out of the way, and I can show you what we got. And while it's bad, I still think it's promising. There again, now we can see all our lifters. You'll be able to see the diesel level that we have in the engine, so that's kind of cool. So, there again, valley pan and gasket assembly. Very cool. And the intake is fairly heavy, but it's not as heavy as the FE4. Okay, let's get you in here so you can see what we have going on. Well, you looked at the head last night. This side is much worse than this side over here with our valve train. Now you can look down inside this valley. You can see the camshaft, you can see all the lifters. You can see especially on that back one, which this back here was so gunked up. There's no way that lifter's not stuck. And so trying to turn this engine over, half of them are probably stuck. But if you look back down in there, you can see our diesel. So having that soak on our main bearings can't be a bad thing. We'll get the vacuum out here. We'll suck up all the garbage that we can get. There's some more right there. I mean, it's bad, but I think we're good. We're gonna spray that whole area down with some PB Blaster. Where did you go? Where did you move? Well, I don't know. There you are, laying on the ground. It's fine. This is probably gonna wipe out this can before it even gets started. Yeah, because that's gonna help. Okay. I got another can, it'll be fine. Do want you to be aware though, this is the third can on this car. It gets expensive quick. Hit! Here! No. I've got to think it's our lifters that are keeping us held up though. There again, the main bearings, they could be seized, but I think it's our lifters. So if we can get them cleaned up some, get them moving, bring the torch in along here and just heat those areas up, let that PB blaster soak in on those. I think we can gain some progress on this thing, gain some traction. Wonder what the story is on this old car. Be neat to know. I mean, we believe the mileage to be accurate. I've got some evapor rust right here. Heavy duty rust remover. I'm just going to pour some of that, especially on these back ones. There comes a point in every video when it's just time to call it quits. We've been working hard on this and we've got a lot more to do, I've got to tell you, but God bless you guys. Go out into the world and use those superpowers, your gifts and abilities to make the world a better place. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one when maybe we get this engine unstuck. Let's find out, and until then, God bless.